Today, I'm going to talk about how to cope with the elimination diet you may have decided to do or that your healthcare provider recommended for you, so stay tuned. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Amanda Malacheski. I'm a certified functional nutrition health coach and a digestive and allergy detective. For tips and tricks on how to eat without triggering symptoms or how to resolve your digestive symptoms for good, please consider subscribing and be sure to click the bell to be notified when I post a new video every week. So you're trying a new elimination diet, and first I just want to say congratulations because it's a really excellent tool to help you understand what foods are triggering your symptoms. So yay for you, good job. But if you've done one before, if you've talked to other people who have done them, you know that they can also be really challenging. So today's video is all about how to help you succeed with the elimination diet that you're about to try. So by the end of today's video, you'll have 5 key tips to help you succeed with whatever elimination diet that you're trying, and this is going to help you get to those answers about what's triggering your symptoms faster. My client Andrea used these tips to make it through her 3-week elimination diet from gluten, dairy, and sugar, which helped her see the connections between those foods and her anxiety and constipation and gas and bloating. And I know that you can too, so let's get started. Tip number 1 is to choose the elimination diet that's right for your particular situation. And in general, you want to choose the elimination diet that's the least restrictive possible. Why? Well, it's because people are recommending elimination diets right and left. But if you choose the diet that's not correct for your situation, you're going to end up removing a lot of foods that aren't necessary. And this may lead to things like nutrient deficiencies or other changes in your gut microbiome that can actually make you sicker. Just as an example, the autoimmune paleo diet, which can be a very useful diet template and elimination diet, is very, very restrictive. And so it might be right if you have an autoimmune disease, but not if you just have a little bit of light bloating. So what I want you to do is to choose the elimination diet that's going to give you the best information possible about your symptoms and your particular triggers. So for help choosing the elimination diet that I might suggest for you based on your situation, you can check out my earlier video, How to Choose the Right Elimination Diet. Tip number 2 is to prepare. Once you've chosen the proper elimination diet, you'll need to get clear on what foods you can eat and which foods you can't eat on the diet, and then make a plan to stock your kitchen or your life with those foods. Depending on your living situation, you may choose to clear your kitchen of the foods that you're not supposed to be eating if you feel like they might be a temptation for you. This can definitely be a little challenging and difficult if you live with people who aren't going on the elimination diet journey with you, but it's definitely worth thinking about. Another important step to preparing is to make a shopping list and to head to the store and get the things that you don't already have in the house that you may need, or just to stock up on foods that you can eat. And one additional thing I really encourage my clients who are doing elimination diets to do is to have a conversation with their housemates or family members that they live with, just to let them know that they might be a little extra grumpy in the first few days while they're going through their initial elimination phase. Tip number 3 is to pick a clear start date and to stick to it. So I watch a lot of people sort of dip their toe into the elimination diet thing and, I'm sort of doing gluten-free. I'm mostly gluten-free or I'm mostly sugar-free. The purpose of the elimination diet process is to get some clarity about what kinds of symptoms your body is having that are related to food. And so to get the clearest results that you possibly can in this process, you really want to just pick a start date and really clearly and strongly stop eating the foods that you're suspecting are causing trouble and give your body time to clear out the effects from those foods before you end the elimination diet. So to avoid these pitfalls, the best approach is really just to pick a start date and stick to it. Ending the elimination diet is a little more challenging because the length of time required may vary depending on the diet and also how your body responds. But generally, I would say as a rule of thumb, for something especially like a basic elimination diet, which might include gluten, dairy, and sugar as an example, 3 to 4 weeks would be a good time to spend to give your body time to clear out all the residual reactions to those foods. And then you want maybe 1 to 2 weeks at the end to reintroduce foods and see how you're doing. It's good to keep in mind that this elimination diet process is really a time for learning and it's not necessarily forever. And ultimately, you always have the choice to change your diet back to how you want it, even if it's causing you symptoms. So now that you've started your elimination diet, tip number 4 is to plan ahead for situations where you may have difficulty eating the right foods. So maybe you eat lunch away from home while you're at work or school every day, or you have a lot of social events and you're away from home a lot during meal times, or maybe you normally eat out a lot. So it pays to think ahead about these situations and plan what you're going to do. So for example, my kids' school often hosts fundraising dinners, and the food usually isn't appropriate for me because I have to be strictly gluten and dairy free. And so I have to think about how I'm going to manage the situation if I'm not going to be starving and super hungry and grouchy. So some options here are to either eat before you go, bring food with you, or to make special requests of the event. Others of you maybe aren't home a lot, or you're on the go a lot. Maybe you have a job where you're in the car all the time traveling, and this can definitely be a challenge as well. So some possible options here are to scope out restaurants in advance that might be able to meet your needs, or again, to bring your own food, or to make sure that you have your car or purse or bag stashed with some snacks that can tide you over until you get to a place where you can eat something that's appropriate. And one more situation to consider here is peer pressure. So oftentimes when we're in social situations, people might egg us on and they might offer us something that we don't want to eat. And they'll say, oh, come on, it's, what's the big deal? You can just have it a little bit right now. But if you really want to get clear results from your elimination diet, it's best to really stay away from the foods you're trying to avoid for that period of time. So it's a great idea to think about how you're going to handle those situations before you're in them in the moment. So just something as simple as, I'm temporarily avoiding that to see how my health improves or not, might be all you need to say. But do come up with something that feels right for you. Tip number 5 is to know how to manage the detox symptoms that you might experience during the first few days of the elimination diet. This is unfortunately a normal part of the process, but it does feel kind of crappy. So it pays to think about how you're going to handle it. And I do hope it helps you to know that once you get through this part, you generally feel a lot better. But there are some other things that you can do to help too. So these include things like, of course, giving your body the time it needs or desires to rest. You might feel a lot of fatigue or sleepiness during this period of time. You can also include things like Epsom salt baths if you're a little achy or feel a little flu-like. Sometimes that can even be a symptom. And also including extra B vitamins and magnesium can help with some of the detoxing that's happening in your body at that time. If you're trying a more advanced form of an elimination diet, so for example, like a low FODMAP diet or a low histamine diet, or maybe a low oxalate diet, you should start to feel better within that first week instead of worse. And so if you start feeling worse and worse, that's a sign that that elimination diet probably isn't the right thing for you. So keep that in mind as you're experimenting with your elimination diet. I'm curious to hear what parts of elimination diets have tripped you up, so tell me about it in the comments below. So I hope these tips help you feel a little bit more equipped to deal with your upcoming elimination diet and help you succeed. Elimination diets are one very important piece of getting clear on what's triggering your symptoms, but they're definitely not all there is to it. I've put together a roadmap to gut recovery to share the steps that I've seen help people get resolution with their digestive challenges. And it's an action guide that helps you figure out some of the things that you can do right now and maps out a whole big picture strategy for you to find that resolution you're looking for. So if you'd like a free copy of that, you can head over to confluencenutrition.com/roadmap. There's also a link for that on the banner of my YouTube channel, so you can head over there and grab that yourself. And I'll also be sure to leave a link for that below this video. Or if you're not sure which elimination diet is right for you, or you have questions about elimination diets that you need some support with, I would love to invite you to schedule yourself a free 30-minute assessment session with me where we can chat for a minute about your situation and I can maybe get you started in the right direction. And if you feel like you could use my help further, we could talk about what it would be like to work together. You can schedule that by heading over to confluencenutrition.com/contact. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Please consider liking and sharing this video if you enjoyed it. And please keep your questions coming. I love answering them, and I will see you all next time.